Good morning.
We're so excited to be here. I want you to know
We,
that.
we are so
Um,
excited to be here. I want to say, just right off the bat in the very beginning, well, before we get into everything, so as people are like coming in, so minimal people hear this, I need to say this, right? Today, Liam Payne from One Direction died, which is
yeah, let's talk about
crazy to
it.
say. That's crazy to say. I haven't said that yet, right? In light of the things that we learned about him in the past few weeks, I could no longer call myself a supporter. Looking back on it, like One Direction, I was in the motherfucking trenches. They were
Girl.
everything for me. Hi, Jalen, literally at the show. That's crazy.
Hey, girl.
They were everything for me, and it's important to me that I just needed to say something because it did. I'm on a high today, but that hurt. Period.
Yeah. My first Twitter account was a One Direction fan account.
I
It's so
still have
crazy.
one.
I
Liam
so I
excluded
still
because of
I
everything that
still
happened.
have the account, but I turned it into another account. So
Me
like, and
too.
it's so crazy because I just got like what did it say, like my 13th Twitter anniversary of like being on Twitter for 13, 14 years, whatever, which is crazy to think about. And like Dani said, in light of what we know, like we can't say that we support it, but it's just crazy.
No, it's just crazy. Like
We're
it's
just so we're so young. It's like, is this how people felt like when one of the Beatles died? Like when like because seriously, like
like I'm not kidding.
One Direction meant everything. Like, and I think a good friend of mine, Victor Taylor Perry of the Wrestling Club, he said this of he used to have a VPN to watch X Factor UK. And yes, I did
Yeah.
too, to watch
Yes.
X Factor UK
Baby,
with
I was in the motherfucking trenches when we were talking about all them girls that was hacking into, the security feed to see them at the airport. I don't have those skill sets, but I was seated.
Do
I
you
was
remember
seated.
the animated cartoon that people
Of
made? What
course,
was it
the
called?
adventurous adventures of One
Yes.
Direction. Of
Oh my,
course I do.
that was so
Don't
crazy.
do
I'm
me.
probably gonna watch that later tonight and cry. I'm not gonna lie to you. I might give that a watch. It
And the last thing I'll say about this before we get into Dynamite, this in no way, shape, or form is us condoning anything that he did. And it's people who are going after like the ex-girlfriends who are sharing their stories now, like you're literally so dumb. Don't fucking do
you
that.
are dumb. You are terrible. You're
You're
stupid.
dumb, you're terrible. I fucking hate you.
We need
Don't
to
do
throw
that.
rocks. We hog
We need
tie
to
you.
throw. I need a fucking hammer. All I'm saying is that this elicits a lot of complicated emotions for us.
I think
As
it elicits some truly like this has been like a really hard time for me.
sorry,
Of just
this tea's
like
really hot.
I think recently, obviously we weren't on last week due to Title Tuesday, but I ended up working in favor. Like I had somebody close to me pass away recently, who's known me since I was a teenager, and then like today, like my brother turned 18, which like put a lot in
Happy
perspective.
birthday!
And my brother, he was born the week after I started watching professional wrestling, which is
Oh
makes
wow.
it means it's been 18 years since I started like, watching wrestling, which is one of those childhood loves. And then One Direction is another one of those childhood loves. And it's just like I think we've been very aware of our mortality lately, of just like, and that
Yes.
life is happening very fast. And I think a lot of things that I thought I guess I would be insulated from until maybe my 30s or my 40s are happening in my
Now,
20s.
now, no, 100%.
Even like
Um,
tonight on Dynamite, right? Like it was, and we'll talk more about it, but like the whiplash of Shelton Benjamin on the same show
yeah,
as something like a Swerve or even a Mercedes or not, because like there was a time when I started watching wrestling, that first episode that I watched, October 9th, 2006, Shelton Benjamin was on it. It was in my hometown. And I remember a lot of times he would be the only black person on the card. And now like you see like black faces up and down the cart tonight. Like, you have Private Party, Top Flight, Mercedes. It's just like, while a lot of things have gotten better, obviously, it also, the other events of today reminds you that, wow, like,
mortality is
it's over.
death is inevitable. It's gonna get us all.
Yeah.
And like, anyway, welcome to the Dynamite Book. But I want to say that we are genuinely, though, we're in great moods. But like,
yes,
it's important.
yes, very much
I
so.
needed to give that as a little precursor. One, because like, I mean, it's on my heart. I have to share it. I love an intrusive thought on this show. But two, because I want to say a lot of times, like, wrestling fans and men in particular get so like hyper masculine about their hobby, and they're so like whatever, right? At the end of the day, me and Lyric, what were we before this? One Direction fangirls. This
And
is
I
our
think
truth.
you wanna
Wrestling's for
know,
everyone.
Haley Miller from Comic Book, good friend of mine. We talk about this of just over the course, like men are able to like love whatever they love so passionately, say the craziest things. But
Yeah.
like we're passionate about something, we're immediately being a fangirl. And that has become like such a dirty word. When in fact, like this show is proof of it. The stuff that we say, like, yeah, we say a lot of crazy stuff, but also too,
Not
we
me.
get very nuanced critiques, you know, like very nuanced critiques, because that means we're paying attention. And one thing about the fangirls, they actually buy merch. They're going to travel to the shows. They're going to organize the community. Even to the down to giving out the giving and receiving friendship bracelets at shows. Of
You will never meet a more dedicated audience than a group of fangirls who have decided that this is for them. And wait, I do want to shift really quickly. Everyone, we are in the midst of wrestling greatness. All right. Our dear friend Lyric here is famous. She's literally the CEO of professional wrestling. If you don't know, PWI was trying to put their list together, and they said, you know who we really need to hear from? My girl Lyric. So they called her up and they said, Lyric, who do you think? And she said, guys, here are my very nuanced critiques of all of these people that I watch, because I watch so much wrestling and I know so much more than any men on this fucking app. This is what I think. And they said, oh my God, Lyric, right? We love you so much. And now she's so famous. So everyone tell Lyric congratulations for taking part in the PWI 250. Woo!
Well, thank you for that. I'm not famous, but I will say it has been
her autograph. She charges them.
It was a really I need to. It was a cool experience. Like it was a cool experience. Like honestly, like I said, I've been watching wrestling for 18 years. We're coming up on like I think a little over a year and a half of finally committing myself to doing content. Like this was a dream that I've had like since I was a kid, and like I gave up on it, and like I'm now finally pursuing it. And so like being a year and a half in and like being invited to like do something like that. Like this is my second time getting published in PWI this year. The first time was for the Japan trip. And so I wrote about Pro Wrestling Noah. And just going like, it's like, it's crazy. Like, and I think too of just like I said, my brother turned 18 today. Like it put so much perspective of like, we didn't grow up with much. Like I didn't get on a plane for the first time to go anywhere, like anywhere until I was almost a senior in college. And so like, the fact that like this is just nuts. please, Dani, please. Oh God. Like
no, here's the thing though, right? No, nobody. We need to hype this up. This is big. This is cool. And she deserves it. Lyric knows so much more about wrestling than I swear to God, any of these other fucking babes. And my thing is, my problem in the professional wrestling community, I'll give half a damn what niggas think. So I have no problem saying that. Lyric watches more wrestling than anybody that I know, and she is smarter than everyone that has a bigger following. And so this is big. So big ups to her. Don't let her downplay it. Don't let her, oh, let's move past it. This is huge for my girl, and nobody deserves it more. Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. It was really cool. Really cool. And congrats to Tony for coming in at number 1, first AEW wrestler to ever win the women's 250, which is insane. And I think honestly, like, I'm a big Toni Storm fan. Like, I will say that I'm a big Toni Storm fan. Like, my first pay-per-view I ever went to was Full Gear 2022. And I actually got to meet Toni. And like, one thing I told her, she was holding the championship at the time, right before she dropped to Jamie Hayter. I was just like, I said, I admire you for how you bet on yourself and transform your career. And like, the first AEW show I ever went to in person was her debut at AEW in South Carolina. So like, it was a really cool first full circle moment of like being on the committee this year and like seeing her get number one. I'll be honest, she wasn't my first pick for number one. Y'all know who my first pick for number one.
This is scoop, everybody.
Sorry, was my number one pick for number one. But like, obviously, because she's the best wrestler in the world. But criteria wise, Toni was number one. No question about it. Like, she has done it all. And honestly, she done picked up the wrestling part too. And she's had some great matches. So shout out to, if you haven't seen it yet, please watch Toni Storm versus Mayu Iwatani from Stardom. Excellent match. Excellent stuff.
Oh no, you didn't miss the champagne in the cinema.
No. We're just
trust me. We gonna talk about my guy. But
yes, we're gonna go ahead and get started. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. I'm not gonna lie. I guess we do have to breeze through it. The first 30 minutes of Dynamite was ass, y'all. I'm not gonna hold you. First 30 minutes.
Let me stop. Whoa, Rampage spoilers. Getting them live in the chat is crazy.
We love you, Jalen.
KR, that's my guy. I love to see that. They tease it. I'm glad there's the call out. Anyway, here's what I'll say. Yap. Jon Moxley. I liked the promo. I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I'm with you, girl. Adam Cole. That's my guy. I didn't think I would have preferred had we gone from a Moxley promo to a match, because I don't think that we needed to do all that back to back at all. But Adam Cole, that's my guy, and I'm a ride about him, because when I was 8, my dad took me to a Ring of Honor show, and he was world champion at the time, and I was more fascinated by like the confetti and the streamers than any of the matches, and he helped me pick them up. So at the end of the day, y'all not gonna hear me say no crazy bad words about Adam Cole, but I will say, I don't care about this feud in 2024. I don't.
Fuck that. Yo, we stopped caring about this feud in 2023. Like, we didn't care by the time. And maybe that they're running it back to kind of like, somebody said this, maybe they're running it back to like draw that contrast with what Mox is talking about. But I don't think we need more examples. They did it the first time.
They did it today. We heard you.
But
now, I understand. I do understand. Okay, Adam Cole coming back. You have to address it a little bit, because it was the biggest thing going on at the company. He can't come right back and say, "Oh, all that's dead." Do one match. Do it quickly. You don't need 15 minutes of screen time on my TV. Do it next week on Dynamite, and let's all move on with our fucking lives.
Correct. And also too, of just MJF is just so interesting to me right now. I feel like there's been something significant shift, and I don't know what it is, and I'm trying to figure out if I just have blinders on when it comes to him, but it feels like coming all out. And don't get me wrong, he hasn't been here, but since All Out, since the day
I didn't notice.
Yes, like I wish I cared more that he's back. And honestly, I think I would care more maybe if he went straight back into the Daniel Garcia feud.
Yes,
and back into that. But obviously,
Daniel put his shoulders to the mat.
AEW, but I think now putting him back with Adam Cole is just, I don't even think it's going to mean like anybody particularly turns on him. I just think that, like, for example, like tonight, he was very much so in that 30 minutes to where let's get all the stuff we took out the way, and then let's get to the business.
I got to be so honest. This whole thing could have been a Twitter exchange.
Yeah.
You don't need the first half hour of Dynamite. Let's go.
Yeah. So that was unfortunate.
And I think, I just really quickly, I think that MJF is going to have to, we've talked about it so many times, about he's going to have to reckon with his new level of lesser importance on the card in comparison to this time last year or the year before, whatever. He's got to find a place and he's got to make us care. He's got to make us care. Because nothing that he's doing right now is doing any of that. Even tonight, Adam Cole, this was his return promo. So it was like, cool, you're getting a little pop or whatever. MJF, like, what did he say tonight? Was there anything? Your whole thing, you're a talker. You talk for so long. Did he say anything of substance tonight? No.
And I think that truly, and I think we started to see parts of it during the Ospreay feud, but I feel like since coming back from injury, I think MJF is getting exposed of just like everybody. And I tweeted this, that everybody seems hungry. Like everybody seems hungry. Like they feel like they have a target on their back. The company has a target on their back.
He doesn't feel like that.
He doesn't. You can tell.
Yeah.
He feels like he got what he wanted. And like
that's a great word. Somebody in the chat just said stale. Yeah.
Stale.
Yeah. You remember?
And I just think, yeah, and it's one of those things to where he has to evolve. And a lot of those things is my thing is him and Hangman are two sides of the same coin, technically. When AEW was first found, and I know this because like even rewatching that first episode of Dynamite, I watched it on the day of Dynamite anniversary. It was very clear from day one that they were planning for Hangman to be the future top babyface, and they were planning for MJF to be the future top heel. It was very clear that those were the two guys. They were supposed to be two sides of the same coin. And the thing is, Hangman was on the path to be this amazing babyface. And I don't think he ever stopped being an amazing babyface, but obviously his career didn't go the way that everybody expected, at least after, from
Chicago Man.
Yes, on. And so he made the difficult decision to truly pivot. And I think that to pivot, it means taking losses. It means refreshing your character. What?
Sorry, no, it's a textbook example of mental illness because I was doing my Duolingo and it's goodbye and good night. I was like, oh, crazy. Sorry. I promise I was listening.
But yeah, I feel like MJF just never, I don't think he realized kind of like his steam has run out.
He didn't do anything about it versus Hangman that did.
Because you have to pivot. And honestly, this is the trick. And great wrestlers always know to do this. You need to make the pivot before it goes completely bad. There was really nothing wrong. Nobody hated what Hangman was doing or anything. It just wasn't living up to his focus.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he pivoted. And we haven't really seen that from MJF in the sense of, I think he's now gotten to this dangerous point to where everybody has gotten apathetic. And that's
the hardest thing to come back from.
Yeah. Of just make people
it's just easier when people hate you.
We're seeing it in my beloved New Japan Pro Wrestling right now. Look at what happened to Shota Umino.
But I do want to say, real quick, we're gonna talk about New Japan Pro Wrestling.
We will be talking about New Japan.
Zachary,
the man you are,
my guy.
The man you are. Beautiful. This is. We'll get there. We'll talk about him when we talk about the show. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, and honestly, this would have been if they didn't do it last year, this would have been the perfect time to actually do an MJF face turn. Just because of what he's meant to the company since like day one in the midst of this civil war.
Yeah, you could be on this side.
Yeah, it would have made sense if he had finally done it. 5 years.
Now it feels like you exist nowhere.
Yes.
But not in like an important way, because sometimes like it feels like when we're looking at this like AEW Civil War, Swerve, and MVP and all that feels independent of it, but it feels important. MJF feels independent of it, but irrelevant.
I actually, yes and no. I don't think that the Swerve stuff feels independent of it. I think that the company is under attack on all sides. And I feel like part of that, like Mox is doing the direct attack that we're seeing like now, but the Cold War before it was all the new signings coming in. You know, it was all the new signings coming in.
Yes. And I think it was going to be that overlap. I just mean in terms of getting directly involved. So far, we don't have that. So you can have that sort of cognitive dissonance between what's going on over here and what's going on over there. And MJF, like, you're unrelated, but like nobody's checking for you.
Correct.
That's the problem.
And I think it's also too of just like, in my opinion, I don't think MJF really passed the tests in the sense of
definitely not yet.
I feel like all the guys and girls too, everybody has been challenged this year with the roster being so big and now so talented on both the men's and women's sides. We've seen some people excel and we've seen some people crash and burn this year. We have. The Dennis is one of them, right? Like we've seen people really come back to a division that is not the same as they left it. And now they are offending. Yeah. You used to be able to get away with talking on Dynamite 24/7 and that's enough. But guess what? Will Ospreay does his flips every week and it come with mic time. And yeah, they got big holiday coming through. You gotta do something. Fuck. You gotta do something new. Okay. And honestly, too, especially now, aside from Sammy, your other pillars are finally not like MJF used to easily be better than the rest of them. Easily. He's not there no more. The sense Darby is Jack. Yeah. The in-ring is still a little okay, but everything else, big scapegoat. Oh, you're not rocking with big scapegoat.
Well, I get into it. But let's move on past Maxwell because he's not that relevant.
Truly.
Clearly.
What was next? Oh my God, Chris Jericho. I'm not gonna lie, I don't even want to deal with that. All I gotta say is keep Jay Briscoe name out your mouth.
You're gonna start to cough in 3 days.
We suing.
And he robbed us of the word of the day.
Yes, he did. Also, Jalen, you're right. I just need, if Jack Perry can wrestle like Jungle Boy and keep the scapegoat persona, we'd be perfect. Like we'd have no problems, actually. None. We'd have no problems. I need the scapegoat personality and Jungle Boy flips, and we'd be fine. Perfect. Next, we have the Learning Tree FTR. I promise the show gets better, y'all, if you didn't watch it. I promise. I know it sounds crazy right now. I know it sounds crazy right now.
Oh my God. I was sitting here and I was watching that first like 45 minutes and I was like, do I like AEW?
I think too, especially because, I was asking myself, was I just glazing today? Because, everybody was just like, I'm so excited for Dynamite. I haven't been this excited for Dynamite in years. Everybody just talking about, I'm so excited for Dynamite. Outside of the Mox, opener, I said, am I in the right place?
And let me say this, right? FTR came out there, whatever, they fought big business.
Before you say this, I do want to say, as much as FTR is nowhere near my favorite tag team.
I don't fucking like them.
This match was for charity, so that is why I'm glad it happened. And the proceeds.
Sorry. Let's just move on.
Hurricane relief in Asheville. That's why I was trying to stop you, sister. I'm trying. That's why I don't got no problems. Like I'm for that reason alone. I'm really glad that match happened.
That's fantastic, like, and I'm so glad that you brought that up. Charity is so important. Let's just move on.
Yeah. Next, we had the Acclaim, and I was like, at that point, I thought I was about to have a stroke.
Wait. I want to say, at the end of that match, right? The Outrunners come out and they shake hands with FTR. Mox, if you were a serious individual, this is that crazy shit that you've been talking about.
They're gonna get them. Don't worry about it. I just think they're gonna get them on Collision.
I personally, I wouldn't have let it slide. You got so many niggas in your camp. Send somebody. Claudio and Pac, go handle that.
You got to think they're gonna be beating niggas' asses for at least the next couple weeks. You got to spread it out.
No, you don't. Whoop that right twice if you mean it.
Anyway, next we had the Acclaim segment, which at this point I was about to rip my hair out, but then MVP pulls up. He gives Max Caster a card. Give that to Anthony Bowens.
Every single Black person needs to choose their alliance. Things are about to get real violent real quickly. I swear to you, I'm looking up and down that roster. I was looking at it earlier and I was like, who have they not approached? between Stoke, Nana, and MVP, we about to have the most. Well,
yeah, this is Wakanda Civil War.
Like it really has nothing to do with y'all. Respectfully,
like this has nothing.
You gotta have our shit over here.
This is never mind. I'm not.
Say it.
No.
You can DM me and I'll say
it. Because the thing is, I can say it, but the second that somebody else say it, we might have to hog tie it.
Oh, you know how to hog tie people. I don't want the Acclaimed in there.
Don't worry, I don't think he's going to be. I'm not going to lie to Tony Khan. If you put Max Caster next to my beloved Shelton Benjamin, Bobby Lashley, and MVP, we hog tying you. Let you know. Don't do it. Don't do it.
I think they should be on Swerve's team. I think Swerve should start recruiting niggas too. I don't know. Why the fuck not?
Hey, no,
you're gonna get jumped.
You know what I'm excited to see though?
What are you excited?
I'm excited for them to actually use EJ. What's his name? Induka? Duka?
I'm not sure. I've only ever seen it written, actually, so I'm not sure.
Me too.
Yeah. I have to double check.
Him, because remember he was at the weigh-in segment for Swerve and Ospreay.
He was, and then he was in the video package last week for Swerve.
So,
and Hobbs on the way back.
God is so good.
You're gonna have to pick one too. So I'm like,
God is so good, bro. Hobbs versus Bobby Lashley is gonna do things.
Families will be fed.
Families will be fed, y'all.
But the Acclaimed itself, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about that. Chris versus Cameron on Collision.
EJ been teaming with Lee Johnson.
Jalen, you're funny. The live updates from the show is crazy. It's like that tweet that's like, damn, boring ass, whatever. This boring ass Collision.
I will say Swerve, Lee Johnson, and EJ.
Darkest Before the Dawn is crazy. That's crazy.
That could be
a pay-per-view. Y'all worry about a women's show. Let's
a nigga show.
Okay. Yeah. Borderline reversing loving Virginia.
Who's gonna do the theme song? Who would do the theme song?
Well, my default is Chief Keef.
You know what? Chief Keef, I'm gonna be honest, now that in hindsight, I'm kind of pissed that y'all didn't use Chief Keef for the All Out theme song.
Me too. I was a big proponent of it. For some reason, I'm a real Chief Keef fan. I don't know why, but I think it would have been a good fit. And now look, you've got the other company pandering to people that they don't see. You see them.
Hey,
get some goddamn pandering in there.
Pause. I'm really glad that we're having this conversation. I'm glad we're having this conversation. I want to have this conversation. Guys, I want my people, and when I'm talking about people, I'm talking to my people. I'm talking to my people. We have to demand more and expect better. These are wrestling shows. These are not rap concerts.
Stamford, Connecticut. Don't check your mail. When I tell you, I don't watch a lot of WWE. I watch it when Roman Reigns is going to be there because I want to see what's going on. All right. Absolutely. That's where I am right now. But I tuned in to watch SmackDown on Friday because I saw a tweet that said, oh, this is going to be the first time that, we have all Black women competing in a tag team title match. And I'm like, shit, Nick, people, I'm all about Black girl wrestling. That's the whole thing. One thing about me, I'm going to be seated for history. I'm sitting there, the rest of the show, not doing much for me. They play the theme song for Lash and, what's your name?
Chikara.
Yeah, for Lash and Chikara. And I'm like, yes, oh my God, look, history in the middle of the fucking theme song. Who the hell come out here? Kevin Owens. Kevin, I don't hate you. I don't hate you. It's no disrespect. Kevin, Cody, Randy. Y'all niggas couldn't do this part at any other motherfucking time. You just had a conversation about how, and the conversation turns into niggas calling you Triple K, acting like you don't see Black people. And now you have an opportunity. You're going to make history. It's actively happening. And you're like, you know what this moment needs? 3 white men. That's what it needs. That's what we need here. And then the actual match itself doesn't go over 60 seconds. Stamford, Connecticut, do not check your fucking mail. I have a little something for you. But I'm in a good mood. Dynamite was good to me. I had fun. But goddamn.
I'm going to be honest. Anybody who watches the show knows I don't watch WWE. I typically don't really care. But I am a huge Bianca Belair fan. So I always keep up with what she's doing. Like, seriously, she's one of my favorite wrestlers ever. And she's just amazing. And I was planning on watching that match too for the same reason. It's historic. I've been following Lash Legend for a while. And I remember when Jakara came in. And I think that they have so much star potential. And so, like, I was really excited for the opportunity. And so, but the thing is, last week I was at my brother ran for Homecoming King and he won, but I was at the game instead of at instead of home. So I was planning to watch it later. And then like I get on my phone and I'm like, I see everybody's just pissed. I said, oh, well, did the match happen yet? They were like, oh yeah, it was 2 minutes long. And I'm like, huh? I was actually planning on watching that. And I'm typically a hater. So it was just like, I think we just need to, and this is not to say that like AEW is perfect because honestly, guys, they had to be bullied into submission. And so I think that the moral of the story is we need to bully wrestling companies.
Look.
Because look at them, look at AEW now in the sense of, and then and guess what? Wrestling. We can do more. We can bully more.
By the time I'm done, you're not going to recognize this show. Adam Cole said it best tonight. Sometimes you just got to fight evil with evil. All right. Sometimes when they get down and dirty, you got to get a shovel. All right. And look, like that's the reality. A lot of times billionaires, corporations are not going to do the right thing unless they face this kind of pressure. Mm-hmm. So anyway.
But I will say, we're not the type of fans that need to be bullying. Respectfully. Like, we don't watch the product regularly enough.
No, so if you are a more regular WWE watcher, you should do the bullying over there. I'll do the bullying over here. I promise I got it on lock. Don't worry.
Promise.
And if you ever need some support, you can call me in as like a consultant. That's for sure.
Great. But yeah, this was just amazing. Well, we'll talk more about it when we get to Leo and Shelton. But wow, this was really Mercedes and Aminata.
Black girl wrestling, baby.
Them girls did the dance. Mercedes is bad. I'm gonna be honest. Mercedes, sister, let's keep this red hair for a while. You got.
I was just gonna say
you got a good tracker. I like this.
But wait. I also am gonna say straight up, if I see any one of you fucking people talking about Aminata's hair, I'm going to beat you with a hammer.
People were that happened?
Yes, a hammer, because her wig slipped a little bit. You know, that's not for you to notice. That ain't got shit to do with you. I'm going to beat you with a hammer.
I was so locked in for the graps. I really didn't even notice. I genuinely didn't notice. I'm gonna be honest, guys. I know a lot of people have been like, how do I say this? And I'm gonna hold everybody's hands while I say this. Your hands being held? Okay. I know a lot of people are mad. They're like, why are no Mercedes TV matches going over 10 minutes? Why is it over 10 minutes? Guys, if no Mercedes TV matches are going over 10 minutes, I think it's because Mercedes doesn't want her matches to go over 10 minutes. I don't think somebody is cutting her time down. Because when we watch other women's matches on Dynamite, we've seen longer. We've seen 12, 13 7-minute matches. Mercedes is still obviously getting back into full form from her injury. And because she's wrestling more frequently, she's wrestling more frequently now on TV, if you haven't noticed. And so
I noticed.
Yes. And I think it's great, but I think she's still trying to ease herself back in. I don't think it's always going to be 10 minutes, but I do think like for right now, this is, at least for TV, she's still adjusting. I don't think that that's a booking thing. I think that that's definitely something that her and Tony have talked about.
I think, I mean, yeah, I will just speak to this match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am a Queen Aminata stan through and through. And I want to say that was one of my first like written articles that I ever published for Black Girl Wrestling. And I was like, she's really fucking good, everybody. Everybody clock the fucking. And it just feels so good to be right. Like I know it was right, but like it just feels so good to be right. And I think that Aminata is the kind of consistent performer that you should see her on TV all the time. You should see her on AEW TV all the time. And I hope that this is kind of a catalyst for that again, because we had her on AEW TV a lot, then she was in ROH a lot, and now she's kind of bouncing back and forth between the two. Let's see you more on Wednesdays, or you should be a Saturday night staple.
Right. She's just amazing. But yeah, I think that I think that for me, when it comes to Mercedes, this is what I want. Like this, what we saw tonight, this is what I want. This is why I wanted her in AEW. I wanted to see her challenge herself against different type of opponents. I wanted to see her work different types of styles. And I think that has been absolutely great. And I do think that specifically, how do I say it? There's something about the culture of where she came from. And I think specifically because she is a horsewoman. And I think that the horsewomen particularly have kind of been put in boxes in their career that the best stuff that they will ever do will always be with each other. And don't get me wrong, I think that Sasha versus Bayley is one of the greatest matches of all time and probably the most influential women's match of the 21st century. However, Mercedes is only like 33. Like what, 33? She's still writing her catalog. She's still writing her history. She's going to have more rivals. And there's potential for some of them to be the best rivals she's ever had. Look at with Willow. Like, think about what they did in their first two matches. That third match is going to change the course of probably wrestling history. I think, and I know it's hard for people who haven't like really opened up their view of what wrestling should be. And I know we weren't on last week, so I count the Emi Sakura match into it too, and then the Queen Aminata tonight. Mercedes is great. Like, she is great, and this is why she's great. Like, this is why she's great, because she can do it all. She doesn't have to, like, you know, stay in the boxes that people put her in. And I think that even sometimes her fans do it as well. And so, you know, like, I think she's still she's on the mend, still recovering. And I think she's also still trying to figure out her character of, like, Sasha Banks won't work in AEW. You know, you have to be something completely new. And building something completely new it takes time, but it's starting to click. And I'm really happy. Queen Aminata, world title.
That's my girl.
Yeah, they need to build you up by next year.
That's my girl.
And I said this. I said on Twitter, I wouldn't mind if she won the Owen next year. And world title. Because the thing is, if Mercedes versus Athena is the match, they don't need a title for that. They don't.
I want a title for that. You don't need it, but I would like one. I want a crown.
Mercedes versus Athena is going to be so big to where they're going to eventually fight for a title. That's going to happen. They're going to have, like, you know, it's going to happen. Same thing with, like, you know, Hangman and Danielson. Like, it's going to happen. Like, whether even, because honestly, if we want to be completely honest about it, by next year we should have a Women's Continental Classic, and they should be doing the dance there.
Well, yes.
But I don't.
Aminata will be championed by Yalin. Yeah, I have a plan, so don't worry about that.
Yeah.
Okay, what came after that? Because I don't remember. I have no memory of these things. Lyric is the one that.
Oh my gosh! Next, we had.
I already know then.
We had the Elite. They were talking about. They said, "Y'all, this is a very special day in our history." They said this is a very, 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 very special day, and it is. Hey, Omega's birthday, our goats, our best bout machine, our cleaner, our belt collector, Kenny Jerome Omega turned 41 today. We miss him terribly. And
something nice. Bad.
We miss him so bad. Y'all suck. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're not my goat.
Oh my god, I gotta be so honest, right? Like I said, we come on the show every week. He ain't been here in all of 2024. One nigga you gonna hear about, Kenny fucking Omega. Happy birthday to the baddest bitch in wrestling. Nobody can touch you, ho. Nobody can touch you. And looking at AEW, right? Up, down, backwards, and sideways. All roads lead back to Kenny Omega. Every man on that roster either has a storyline with him, or here's something else I'll clock, right? The vast majority of new signings that they bring in, when they say, I wanted to be here because I wanted to wrestle the best, before Danielson, that was always in reference to Kenny Omega. Correct. And now, Danielson, in the arms of an angel. Danielson, Okada, that list has expanded. But baby, who's number one? Kenny fucking Omega. He is the reason that your fave signed there.
The reason for the season.
Don't get in motherfucking
twisted. There would be no Will Ospreay in AEW if it wasn't for Kenny Omega.
No.
And that's fact. Truly.
No Okada, no Jay White.
Kenny's, like, I think it's so crazy because he hasn't been here all year, but his presence is felt every day. Everything. There's been few, like Kenny Omega has influenced me so much. I think as just a wrestling fan, as a wrestling writer, he's just and everything. Like he just the way that he tells stories made me realize the way that I want to receive wrestling, how I want to be a fan of wrestling.
Okay.
And
sorry, I was just gonna say, right, like it's crazy because like we said, he hasn't wrestled in 2024. He hasn't been here. Mm-hmm. Which is a crazy thing to think about because when you sit and watch Dynamite, they talk about that hoe like he's there week in, week out. They're like, let's steal what they say about Takeshita when they're trying to hype him up. Beat Kenny Omega twice in a week. If you just started watching AEW this year, you like he is a mainstay in this company and always will be and was before it. All right, that the reality is, at the end of the day, your faves, insert name here, cannot lace that bitch's boots.
No, they can't. And I want to say this too of just, like I say, Kenny's my GOAT. And some people might say different things. But let me tell you something. When you look at Kenny Omega's catalog and what he did and how long he did it, he took the hardest possible path. He came up through the ranks in Japan. He didn't even get on national television until his mid-30s. And the fact that he conquered every single territory to the point that he is still the standard of what it means to be a world champion in all elite wrestling. He did all of that. And then you think about the fact he did it in pain.
And look.
I'm sorry.
You know what? I was going to say, oh, let's show some restraint. No, it's the nigga's birthday. All right.
Yeah.
And it's our fucking show. I don't give half a flying fuck what y'all are going to say about the belt collector era. Oh, it didn't do this. Oh, it didn't do that. It didn't whatever. When you realize, first of all, the reality of what he as a person was putting his body through during that time frame, that's literally fucking insane. Most of us would not be able to fucking stand up. So you going out there and doing all that shit and putting not just one company on your back, but multiple is actually insane. And your faves can't carry the weight of one. And here's what I'll say.
During a pandemic,
during a global pandemic,
new company that could have folded after a year.
And it would have. And it would have.
Happened right when a new company was being founded. And he took fuck that. Professional wrestling everywhere was failing. The indies were closed. Impact was dust. AAA dust. All these places are dust. AEW is a brand new entity. They're a brand new entity, and now they could have lost all of their momentum. In the hands of Kenny Omega, he uplifted not just AEW, but professional wrestling. Professional wrestling.
I don't give half a fuck if you did not enjoy each and every single one of the matches. I don't give half a fuck if you're gonna sit up here and say, "Oh, the ratings weren't this, the ratings weren't that." It was actually better.
It was the most prosperous era of the company.
Back.
It was the most prosperous era of the company today.
There is no one in the world who could have done what he did at that moment. And the reality is, like I said, now looking at AEW, a man that has not been here in a year, look at everybody who's holding a belt. All of the men who are holding a belt in AEW right now have a direct storyline that he could be plopped back into fucking today that you would be compelled with. You look up and down that roster and you look, Ospreay's still waiting on a bitch. Right? He Okada won. You know, it's just a matter of like, let me not get worked up. There is no people. Sorry, I was just gonna say real quick. Oh, your hot take first, and I'll do mine.
I have a hot take.
Let's hear it.
And I say this as somebody who loves this man, right? Like I love him. I think he's amazing. And honestly, he's still a GOAT. Like but
I think I know what you're gonna say, but go ahead.
Bryan Danielson would not have been able to do what Kenny did as far as carrying the company as world champion. He wouldn't have. And you want to know why? Now I can say that comfortably. Now that we have seen Bryan Danielson as world champion, because guess what? He never did it. It's very clear. I'm not gonna lie. That nigga was not lying when he told us he did not want that belt. He was not lying to us. He told everybody the truth.
He ain't want it. He didn't want it. And what I don't think
for most of the days, like most of that run, and don't get me wrong, it was a short run. But let's just be honest. Of just Kenny gave everything, and I think also too is this is also messed up. Bryan also does have a family and other stuff. Like he really, like I ain't gonna lie to you, he does have a family and other things to do.
And I get it. I get it. I respect that. I get it.
Hey, bro,
but you're right. And the frequency at which Kenny was wrestling, in addition to even literally feeling like fucking shit, giving all of those people the best matches of their lives.
Correct.
That's the fucking best bout machine. And thinking explicitly about the MJF match that they had on Collision right before Kenny left. Are you serious? Go back and watch that match.
Yeah,
you go back and watch that match. MJF, when he decides to turn it on belt to belt, can be a very fun and entertaining wrestler to watch. Kenny Omega, in his performance in that match, knowing he felt the way that he felt, knowing that my girl was dying. Like, we're not exaggerating. People be like, oh, this person fought through injury. This person did this, that, or third. Kenny Omega was dying.
Bro, he had vertigo, couldn't see straight during that Okada match. Are you like
the best ever?
Like, come on, like
best
ever. Like, come on.
You're not seeing him. I don't give a fuck. Insert name here, y'all. Not him.
Y'all watch this.
Okay.
He is also the most complete professional wrestler because guess what? He's not just one of the greatest singles wrestlers of all time. He had several of the greatest tag team matches ever. In addition to watch this. Several of the greatest matches of this century. He did a best of 7 series with Death Triangle. He's been a part of the Golden Lovers. Guys, he's been a part of Team Hangman. Best AEW match of all time. The match that he had versus Ospreay and Tanahashi with Kota Ibushi is one of the best tag team matches I've ever seen. Of course, Golden Lovers versus Young Bucks in California is one of the best matches ever. And that's not even counting the early Golden Lovers stuff that they was doing versus, Pop.
You want guys, a fun little spoiler. I've started as I round out my Ospreay spreadsheet. Guess who's next? I need a job. I have a job. I need a hobby. But yes, let Kenny Omega, happy birthday. We love you. You're not gonna find. You are not going to find. You'll be hard willing to go to war for you more, baby. We are sat right the fuck here. We not moving, go whenever you're ready.
You want to know something crazy?
What's crazy?
Like I said, today's my brother's birthday. Even now, before you say I'm not shit, I did call him. I called him at midnight last night, but I definitely posted Kenny Omega birthday before I posted mine.
Okay, I'll raise you one. Me and Kota Ibushi have the same birthday. I posted happy birthday, Kota Ibushi. Hey, when you ready to die about this shit, you ready to die about this shit.
I like you. You got your priorities in order. I like that. Oh, like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, we said all this because they said it was Kitty's birthday, and then they gave him a cake full of intestines.
Is that supposed to be funny?
No, that's exactly what happened.
I know. I'm like, but are we?
Oh, Jack P.
You think you ate that? You think you ate that, Jackson?
When I catch you, Jackie. When I catch you, Jackie. When I catch you, Perry. When I catch you. Who are you? I'm being honest. What can you? I understand. I understand. You.
Literally everybody else in that company has a reason to be upset with Kenny Omega. What is your problem?
I just.
And who the fuck do you think you're stepping to? Oh, also really quickly before we move on, let's just get all of it out the way. Zack Sabre Jr., congratulations. That's my girl. I love him down. I tweeted earlier this week, I was like, I have mixed feelings about the British, but never about that Zachary fellow.
Never about him. Never about him. And you want to know
Mighty don't kneel, you bitch ass niggas.
You know what else I like about Zack Sabre Jr.? He's loyal and he commits. He's a man of his word. He committed to New Japan Pro Wrestling. And not even just the fact that he committed to New Japan, it's just the fact that he committed to something, because men just can't commit half the time to anything. And
you know what, Lyric, I definitely have to echo that sentiment. I've had a week.
We gotta talk after this. It's nice seeing men get rewarded for actually doing what they're supposed to do. He said, okay, I'm going to pick my style of professional wrestling, and I'm just going to work really, really hard at it until I'm just the best ever. And then, I'm going to come up through the ranks on a tag team, but then I'm going to branch out. I'm going to dye my hair blonde. I'm going to join this faction. I'm going to become the front leader of it. And we're just going to be really cool guys. We're going to have a great rock and roll theme song, and it's going to be awesome. And I'm going to have matches with some of the best wrestlers in the world. And I'm just going to produce classics. And then I'm going to make history. I'm going to win the G1 Climax tournament. Then I'm going to change up the rules. Instead of Wrestle Kingdom, I'm going to win the IWGP Heavyweight Championship and Ryogoku at King of Pro Wrestling, so I can enter my home country and Royal Quest as champion. Wow. What a man.
What a man.
Yeah, somebody said it. The match was good. The match was good. And I can't say that about too many Naito matches in 2024.
I thought it was watchable. Good was a stretch.
Okay. The last 5 minutes were great.
I enjoyed it.
The last 5 minutes were great, and the rest was watchable.
Okay. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
I'll give you
that. They had a great closing stretch. The rest was watchable. And so that averages to about good.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to derail us, but it wouldn't be the Dynamite book if we didn't talk about something completely
I'll be honest with you, all of our things always get listen, his match with Bryan Danielson, I truly still believe that is the best match this year. I do believe that
agree.
Match.
I agree.
Like, I think too of just to tell the story that
I disagree. Sorry, go ahead. I just remember.
Okay. What's your match of the year?
Takeshita Ospreay.
That's fair. It's still good. That's a really good pick. I'm not gonna lie, there's so much good wrestling this year to where there's about, I would say, a list of 7 to 10 matches that if you say that's your match of the year, I'll still respect you.
I'll respect you.
Yeah.
Which is saying a lot. I don't respect a lot of people.
If you say Danielson, Sabre, if you say Swerve, Danielson, if you say Swerve, Ospreay, Danielson, Ospreay, Takeshita, there's a really good tag match. What is it? The Sari and Mayu Iwatani versus Hash and you. There's like a few more matches.
Sorry, somebody said, are we going to do a match of the year review? That could be fun.
This show probably won't be the best place.
No, not this show.
Yeah, but yeah,
Lyric might come on Black Girl Wrestling. She has refused a number of times beforehand.
That is not true. Not true. That has never happened. In fact, there has been several times where I've asked you, hey, how can I work with Black Girl Wrestling? What are you saying?
I remember it.
Somebody about to DM me today.
Difficult to work with.
Will say, yeah, I heard Danny talking shit about you. It was crazy. Yeah.
And you just have to be like, maybe. What'd she say? She just be talking.
This guy.
Oh, brother.
Brother.
What were we talking about? So
we talk about
after the elite,
Jack Perry. Yeah, don't do that shit no more. About my we had a match was supposed to happen. A match was supposed to happen, and the BCC come out and they just start whooping feet on who was that? That was
the conglomeration.
Yeah, conglomeration.
Who did they?
Oh, I know what happened. The elite versus the conglomeration, and after the match,
kind of during.
The way that I go through this is that I go through my tweets. That's how I tell the order of the show. So I need to write things out better. But yes, I enjoyed the match. Listen, Cash Money Kazu is so funny. Kazushika, I don't care what anybody thinks. Y'all, he is so funny. Like, he's so funny because he's so me. He minds his business like a motherfucker. If you only talking money, I don't want to talk. Yeah. Anybody remember that meme? That
pussy ass niggas.
Bro,
Cash Money Kazu. Look, his reaction when Mox hit. First of all, Mox hit Action Andretti into another fucking universe. He mollywopped that nigga. That was crazy. But you see the elite just standing there. I mean, what can you do? Happiness. Sometimes people get their feet.
Everybody grabbed their titles. They said, "Bro, this is so crazy." They say, "Y'all, it's so
ghetto out here."
It's so ghetto, man. They was.
This how y'all get down.
And it's so funny because I also tweeted this. I said, Dark Order, now they are there was a time that if they was ever getting hog-tied on Dynamite, Hangman would save them. Now Hangman's one of the villains too. We're gonna talk about Hangman because we gotta put our partner in therapy. We gotta do something about him. He's like, hey man, like he got me scared. You know how somebody tell you like they crazy and you be like, oh yeah, you ain't about shit. Yeah, blah 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 blah. And now no.
And then you see it in their eyes. Yeah. My baby gone.
There's not a thought.
Ain't nothing up there, baby.
Ain't nothing up there. But yo, Jon Moxley, I love that man. Like, I just love that man. And also too, though, I understand now why he's champion. I don't think that this angle would work with anybody else. And the reason why I say this is because the company is under attack. And the only person who could stage this type of attack is somebody who has saved the company before when it's been under attack several times. And there's only one person who has truly ever done that, and that's the Ace. And so, of course, he could attack from the inside. It just makes so much sense now. I feel like now, and people are still like, we need more information. Don't get me wrong, we do. But I feel like we're getting a good picture of why this is happening, which I do like.
I have a controversial take. I don't care. I don't want to see another Mox title reign. I don't. I get why. I get it. I really do. 4 times the company is 5 years old. That don't feel a little excessive to y'all. And
I've seen companies do.
I know. I agree. Look, I get it. And some of those were like straight out of necessity, given the state of the company. I don't think, guys, I know. I was
this really was all CM Punk's fault. But
I'm saying, hey, you said it, not me, but I'll say it too. I just don't like. I don't want to see it right now. I really don't. I think I understand the angle and everything. I just like
Killing Bryan Danielson wasn't
I
enough.
hope this title reign is brief. Huh?
I don't think it's going to be, well, I don't know. But I do think that now, I think especially because of how Danielson's title reign turned out. Don't get me wrong. I love Bryan Danielson. And I think that I'm really glad that he got to hold the AEW championship at least once. Because I think it's important that he's a part of that lineage. Because he's been such a huge part of like, the issue. He's fucking Bryan Danielson. He gets to do stuff like
but
that.
But it's not like it was like no historic.
Yeah.
Like
yeah. And
I agree.
But
we need another good title.
And not even just that, because the reign wasn't all that, I don't think that somebody beating him like another face, like imagine if it had been Darby at Wrestle Dream. I don't think it would have meant as much if Darby, don't get me wrong, yeah, you're sending out his last match.
I agree.
At the same time, you know, like at that point, the writing was on the wall. It didn't matter who was in the ring. Bryan Danielson could have been in the ring with Doink the Clown. He was going home.
I agree.
But when Darby beats Mox for that belt,
and Christian Cage
he will forever be known as the savior, the true savior of all elite wrestling.
I agree. I agree. What I'm saying is, oh my God, I don't want to see the in-between. That's what I'm saying. I think
it's not fired
as far as storytelling. It's not. I think as far as storytelling, that is a fantastic idea. We should do it. And I think that I would say the one major plot hole, of course, is the fact that Moxley never should have been in that match. Like it should have been Darby. Because Darby put that title shot up for no fucking reason still. But then you can play into that. You can be like, oh, I was stupid. I put Danielson into that position, you know, and whatever. You play into all that and like, fine. My thing is, I wish we could skip to the crowning moment because I don't. As far as Mox matches, they will always be good. He is, you know, he's that good. I don't know what he can show us that he hasn't shown us before. So, as far as in the ring, presently, with the people that work there. So, I mean, I'm cool with it for the sake of storytelling. You know, I'm cool with it because I think it's a good idea and I think that it will pay off entirely well. The in-between doesn't do much for me.
I understand that.
Man, he could prove me wrong. He could come out here and, you know, show me what's something different.
He looked better in ring than I've seen him in a while, I will say. Between the Darby match and the Bryan match, I think he's looking incredible, which makes me excited. But
you live your truth.
We shall see. Anyway, Wheeler Yuta, when I catch you, you out there dressed in your Bryan cosplay and acting real nasty and rude. You think we don't see you? Also, Pac was born for this. Pac was born for this.
Of course he was. He been waiting for this moment.
He said,
but you know what I've been waiting for
on the roster since day one.
Which is true.
Since day one. He pulled up to the
I've been waiting for the fucking bell to ring. Pac, come on. Come on. Ring the bell. Let's go. Start working.
I think they're about to start wrestling more now that Yuta is on board. Because you gotta think they're still holding the belts. Bro,
Pac talking about not too much on Yuta. He killed people.
He's a demon. He's a demon. He is forsaken. You saw him
own other clothes. You've never seen him.
No. Pac showed up to the inaugural All Elite Wrestling press conference with just wet and hot to go.
That's my dog. Hey man, well you can't ever say Pac switched up. He been the same nigga
since day one. Since day one, he pulls up in his trunks and boots. He is always ready because guess what? When you stay ready, you gotta get ready.
You never have to get ready.
Always ready.
Girl, when I give my girl a singles push, it's over for you hoes.
Correct. But Yeah, I love how eerie this is. I'm enjoying
shoot, what
this,
time
all
is it?
this BCC stuff. I like how they keep me. Oh, it's 11:38. Do you need to go?
Not yet. I can push it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm gonna have to push it. I gotta talk about my.
Oh. Let's get into it, y'all. Shelton Benjamin versus Lio Rush.
49 years old.
Hey, I just would like to say, black don't crack.
It
Black
don't.
from
And if
South
I look like that when
Carolina,
I'm 49, okay, all right. I don't know
South
about that.
Carolinian black, real 803. This meant everything to me. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not just this was a good first match for Shelton. Oh, this was a good team. Y'all, this is one of the best Dynamite matches of the year, in my opinion. Of just
great.
They teed up. This is what I wanted to see.
Did.
People, somebody said it on Twitter. They said this is the best that Shelton Benjamin has looked since his Noah run in Japan. I agree.
Yeah.
And that was why I was so excited for this.
Sorry, I was just gonna add Lio Rush, I think sometimes can be hit and miss in terms of his fluidity, because sometimes I think that he is over reliant on his speed and quickness as a tool, and the matches can just sometimes feel a little bit like wonky. This is one of his better showings by far too.
I agree.
Shelton Benjamin, if I look like that when I'm 49, y'all not gonna be able to tell me nothing.
Nothing.
Well, I mean, I would be bald.
Well,
that would concern me, but
okay. I will say the entire Hurt Business, are they gonna be bald?
I don't know if I can stand. I don't know if I can get behind that.
I ain't gonna lie.
Nobody got hair.
They need some beanies or something.
Turkey. They do black
I said, people? What? It's cold in here. It must be some bodies in the atmosphere. I said, what?
Do they do black hair transplants in Turkey?
What?
You know, because everybody be going to get their hairline
fixed.
You know what?
I don't know. I never really asked myself, what do these work on niggas? Because you might be right. And imagine going to Turkey and coming back with a Jerry curl. That's crazy.
That'll be just my look though. That's crazy. Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Can't be Hobbs. You got hair.
Oh no. Oh, Hobbs. No, never.
Hobbs bald is
Max needed to go. I will say MJF's made a lot of dumb decisions, but that's not one. Going to Turkey, and I'm gonna be honest, I think they need to standing appointment. They need to stop shaming him for it. I'm not gonna lie.
No. Keep shaming for it.
We should not be shaming. No, we don't need to. I think we need to stop shaming wrestlers for going to Turkey, because it's going to dissuade some others of them to not go. Because here's the thing, as much as I have grown to love Bald Mox, if he ever wanted to go to Turkey, I would not be upset.
I have a problem with bald people the same way I think I do the British, and I just don't trust them on instinct, and then they have to like work their way up. I don't know. It's just a thing of mine.
Well, yes, and that's why they have to go to Turkey. And Dani,
you have to go. I think that more often. Oh, Ricochet is bald. Good point.
And he's black.
Bald. Why are you ugly? Yeah, you could fit. Fit. I'm noticing a pattern.
Black and bald.
Black and bald.
That's crazy.
That's the criteria. That's what we're checking.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, that's such a weird thought. Since says turkey hair was common in knowledge in the 90s. Can you imagine people like Stone Cold with a full head of hair? Now I'm just thinking of people who are already bald and don't have hair, and like what they would be like if they did. Like Stokely Hathaway.
All right, moving on. Lio Rush versus Shelton Benjamin was absolutely fantastic. I will say, Lio Rush, like I agree. This is some of the best I've seen him look since Best of the Super Juniors last year in New Japan.
Yes.
He's really locked in, and honestly, I think that Leo Rush could really be that type of talent like Darby, who can really just get in there and fly and sell and get the shit beat out of them by bigger guys, and it's always going to be an awesome match. Like,
I want to see him fight Darby.
yeah, bro. Somebody's
what's up? Let's see it. I don't know.
would. I mean, they just gonna just flop, jump. It's just gonna be a who can die first competition.
All right, let's see it. I don't know.
Leo got kids. I think we need to do this.
See, you know,
I will say that is part of the Darby Allin appeal. That is part of the Darby Allin appeal, y'all. I think it's because he never got shit to lose. He has nothing to lose.
Everything that Darby Allin says, whether you like him or you don't like him, I believe that little bitch. He be sitting up there and he's like, I don't fucking care if I live or die. I don't care if I'm coming back from Mount Everest. You can do anything you want to me. I believe you. You can back up. Whoa.
You're not wrong. Everything that you said is what he has said. Never, I die for AEW. I die.
Like,
I believe you.
Okay.
We believe you.
Okay. One, because I don't think you're that good of a liar. Two, because just the everything about you, you know.
I mean, if you do go beat Darby at the con, please tell him to stay on the ground. Just tell him to stay on the ground.
Yeah.
Please stay up out of there. With that. Anywho, after that match, we went straight into guess what? Mo niggas. We went into Mo black people. It was great. We had MJ, not MJ. Ugh, so sorry. Jesus. MVP grab a mic, give a live promo, which was fantastic. MVP is just, I believe everything he says. I believe every word that he says. And it was fits. Also, another part of this match that I loved. I loved seeing Layla Gray and MVP. They arguing on the sidelines. I said, "Wow, he even arguing with the bad bitches. This is great. This match has everything.
This match has it all.
Everything. Y'all, this was fantastic." I said, "Wow." And then next we went to Swerve and Nana. Swerve being back on TV. I mean, it just Dynamite felt complete, in my opinion. Like when he came on screen, it just felt complete. It feels like everybody's back. He looks like a star. They've added all this extra pyro to his entrance. It was so funny. If you look back at Wrestle Dream, there's only two people who have got significant pyro, and it was Swerve and Hangman.
Oh.
Like, because Hangman's pyro, and I don't know if anybody noticed, like at Wrestle Dream, it was
extra.
Same thing with Swerve. Of just, I felt like that was a nice little nod to them, the anniversary of their first match. But yeah, I think Swerve sounded great. I think Nana was great. It's so many black people on TV. Wow. It's just so
like
many.
I drew it up.
And they're all doing different things, which is
just
great.
Like I drew it up.
And guess what? We want more.
We're not satisfied. We're taking your job. These are black jobs now.
JoJo, between you got to be scared. Y'all need to be terrified of Will Ospreay and Swerve, because by this time next year, AEW is going to be just black and British, and nobody's going to understand how it happened. It's going to know how it happened. Especially if they really sign Michael Oku, we're going to knock two birds out.
Black, British, bald. Welcome to All Elite Wrestling.
Stop, bald.
No, I just mean generally. Those are the three categories.
Well, Ricochet has the bald. Michael Oku.
There's a lot of overlap.
Yeah, and Michael Oku, he could bring the British. And
you got to pick one.
Yeah.
Or you're out.
Gotta have
Omega, save that head, baby. I don't know.
But he can't be black.
No, that's why he's got to shave his head.
Oh yeah.
You got to be one of the three is what I mean. Otherwise, they come and get you in your sleep.
Like the Grinch meme. Next, I will say, I've been a big hater of the Don Callis family stuff. But tonight, they landed for me. They landed for me.
First, before I
talk
about him, Kyle Fletcher is a good ass promo, and he cut the fuck out of one tonight.
He looked like a mega star tonight.
He absolutely did. And I just want to say, I tweeted literally like 3 months ago, and I was like, Kyle Fletcher's has the crazy eyes that all the greats possess. I didn't know what I meant by that statement at the time, but he absolutely does. He's got it in him. There's still room on the bandwagon if you want to hop in right now, but it's filling up by the moment. He looked like a star. If you had never seen him wrestle and you watched that promo, you would think he's the biggest deal of the night.
And I will say, like, even how the audience reacted to him, like the boos, it just all came together. But it also shows how big of a babyface Will Ospreay has been.
Well, yes.
So the fact that it made him feel like just such a big threat. And I believe that I feel like by February for Black this Australia show.
Oh.
Yeah.
Just in case anybody didn't know. Yeah.
Also my birthday month too.
It's up.
But I do think that because now I feel like we're starting to put the pieces on the board, because I think that you do your short-term booking, and that's for like whatever pay-per-view is coming next. And then the long-term booking is happening for this next stadium show. And so I think that either the move is going to be Kyle versus Ospreay in Australia. And if Mark Davis is cleared, it'll be probably Aussie Open versus Ospreay and a partner. Which either way, I'm great with. Fine. Amazing. But we're going to see it. I think that's where we're heading. He looked like a superstar. And also, too, I was a bit worried when they said press conference, because I was like, oh, crap, we're just going to hear Don Callis just talk. But, hey, man. Okay, go ahead.
I've held off long enough. Congratulations to the new international champion, Konosuke Takeshita. Oh, my God, you are so loved. That match fucking slapped. It slapped. Which of course it was going to. Look at the participants. But Takeshita in that match in particular, Will Ospreay is I won't say it for myself, but is considered by many to be the best wrestler in the world at present. Konosuke Takeshita in that match made people forget that they were cheering for Will Ospreay.
Correct.
He was that good, and he came across as that much of a fucking stud. And look, he won the international title.
Like Thanos. He was knocking them niggas out like freaking Mario tokens. Like, I mean, you can
when you have the best wrestler in the world that needs to team up with somebody else to beat you, you're that bitch. Can't nobody tell you fucking nothing. And look, that promo tonight, they gotta let him talk his shit more. I don't give a fuck.
Bro.
Let my girl air that shit out.
He sounded amazing.
Okay, I was gonna do that a whole separate thing.
Like, y'all, like, it's just like, but also too, it showed you how much they've been dropping the ball with him before. Because like the second, it was just like the aura was like overwhelming. And also, I don't know how we're gonna do it. We got to get Kota Ibushi back to full form. He's been, and here's the thing, he's been looking good, but Ibushi, I don't know what it's gonna take, but we gotta see it. I gotta see it. At least the lines to come. I gotta see it. Okay. I gotta see it.
Okay. I'm right there. One thing about me, you will never hear me say a bad word about Kota Ibushi. I need a gun to defend that man. But I just want to say, all that, Konosuke Takeshita, his booking before the G1, dog shit. His booking since coming back, I've still not loved at times. But he has been the same incredible performer in and out for so long in AEW, and there's been so many opportunities where it felt like this is where they're going to put a belt on him. This is where they're going to put a belt on him, and they just never did. So for this to finally happen, it's just great to see. He's definitely going to be somebody that takes that belt and defends it all over the world the way that it's intended to be, and he's going to put in the fucking work. And also, I don't think that a man has ever looked that good. It's genuinely concerning sometimes, because I be listening to him and I'm like, whatever you say, I don't know.
I said, this is crazy.
I don't
More than gonna let him do this on national TV like this.
I literally, like, I paused the thing and I was like, I need a second. Let me gather
that hair down. I said, oh my God.
Let me gather myself. God damn. He is somebody, you know, I've said it before on the show, but I just want to reiterate, like, he's the kind of man that you save before your kid's in a fire, if it comes down to it. And I want to thank the dinosaur that died to create the fossil fuels that powered the car that took your mother to the hospital for you to be delivered.
Y'all, he's so insane for that. Here's the thing. I do think that now that we're finally rolling out the plans for Wrestle Dynasty, and here's the thing, this is how I know Wrestle Dynasty finna hit. Because they are starting the build with the elite. And if you starting the build with the elite, that means it's just gonna go, it's so much stuff. I'm trying to see Hangman in Japan. Swerve has never wrestled in Japan. They're already writing Tokyo Sports articles about him. We're about to see Mercedes wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. We're going to see Athena wrestle in the Tokyo Dome. We're going to see Okada back. We're going to see the Bucks back in the Tokyo Dome. And most importantly, we're going to see Konosuke Takeshita in the Tokyo Dome. So I believe that the plan is going to be Okada versus Takeshita. Now, how we get there, I don't know.
Which will change lives, feed families,
well, yes,
and everything in between. But I mean, oh yeah, I'm gonna talk about that too. But I would be remiss. Konosuke Takeshita, you got a lot of people on the internet who are fake enjoyers. There are grown men on the internet who act like they love Takeshita the way I do. I guarantee that you don't.
Are you throwing shots?
Not anyone in particular. I mean, I can be. I didn't have anybody in mind, actually.
Oh, well, no, I was going to say, yeah, if you don't give a damn, we don't give a fuck. Hey.
I was like, no, that actually wasn't about anybody. It was just like, it's so important to me that everybody knows that, like, if it came down to it, I would sacrifice each and every single one of you.
Every last one of you in a heartbeat.
For 30 seconds.
Absolutely.
And Konosuke Takeshita, you just let me know. Anytime, any place, you can have it.
Anyway. Yeah.
Ooh, and then about that match, yeah, Lance Archer.
Why did y'all let him go to a white stylist? I'll be honest, like Ransom, I'm just be honest about this. I'll be honest about it. I've just gotten so desensitized to the braids to where they don't really bother me. They never really bother me, and it looks weird for him to like not wear them. And I think he needs to go back to them. I'm not gonna lie. Some people have just, I'm not saying appropriation is right. I'm not saying it all.
Crazy way to start. Some
people certainly do it better than others. I'm thinking like Gwen Stefani, right? In the early 2000s, nobody has ever appropriated quite like her, and there'll never be another. There'll just never be another. Yes. I don't know.
I gotta say something.
Send him back to the hair store. He needs some Connect-A-Lawn today.
I got some. I want it. Lance Archer, don't let them take this from you. Don't let this take them for you.
Lance Archer, were you using Eco Styler?
I bet.
Or Shine and Jam? Let me know. Let me know in the comments.
I was never a big fan of the braids. Just because to me, like,
this is the braids. Sorry.
I was just like, but it's so weird to see them without him. It's so weird to see him without them.
I don't know how to feel. I'm sorry. It looked like he kind of like he might be like, you know, like Samson in the Bible. You know, lose the braids, lost the powers. You know,
It's hard to know.
He didn't seem as he just didn't. I'm sorry, he doesn't seem as killery.
I'm not scared of you.
About him. Like, you know,
You're just a guy.
Listen, a tall white man from Texas with red feet in braids. That's scary. That was scary. That scared me.
That's what you know about that.
Like, cause yeah, I've seen it.
But he always cracked me up when he just stepped over the ropes. I love that.
Yeah,
he does it. Billiam does it. I thoroughly.
He used to do that back when he was in WWE too, and I used to think it was super cool. But yeah. So, but shout out to the Don Callis family. That actually was a really good segment. I think Kyle
Fletcher.
Kyle and Takeshita looked awesome. They really did. Next, Mariah May and Anna Jay had a good. Listen, Mariah sounded awesome. She sounded motivated, which I really loved. She touched a lot of things. Oh, I love the fact that she stayed on y'all necks because it is absolutely unacceptable. Yes, unacceptable for y'all to continue to not have questions prepared for women's talent, women's champions who retained. It's not like it's one thing if the title change hands, but
no, even then, because
you
know who's in the fucking match. And I say something?
Correct.
Well, I'm going to.
Yeah, go
ahead. I've only attended one press conference. It was evident then that you have people sitting there trying to think of something to ask the women. And like, no tea, no shade. Yeah, good point. How long has Brian Cage been in the Don Callis family? Because when they said the Don Callis family, I was like, when did all these people?
I think he was a part of a trade. He was a part of a trade too.
A trade?
That trade. Remember Jake Roberts and Don Callis did a trade? Or was it a three-way trade?
Who did they trade for?
I don't know. I'm gonna be honest.
Who else used to be in the Don Callis?
I'm trying to think. Never mind. I don't know.
Sorry. That was a good point because they brought him out. I was like, he not in. Oh, I guess. Yeah, not having questions for female talent is like, are you guys not embarrassed? First of all, I gotta be honest. Like, to keep it 100% a buck, if this is your job, you should have questions for everybody that could make an appearance at the press conference. Everybody. This is your literal job. Me personally, I mean, I had questions. That's how I treated it myself. And this ain't my job. This is just like a fun little thing I do. So the prospect that this something might be your livelihood, and like I would say no tea, no shade, but it's a little bit of tea and it's a little bit of shade, and I don't need this shit. Because like that is just such.
It shows you how low the bar is for men.
The bar is in hell, and you cannot give a nuanced take or a nuanced critique about something that has never been brought up in conversation.
Can you imagine if I had actually gone to Wrestle Dream and I was in that room and I didn't ask a question to Mariah? They would have made it my fault. Everybody would have made it my fault for being the woman.
No, 100%.
Yeah. All right, even if it was you, like any of us, like if a woman is in that room, we get held accountable. Say you. Because the women are here. So these are the questions you're supposed to ask. Ask the question about the women. And also, there's never been a time I've been in a scrum and a woman is on the at the table and I'm not asking the question, but also being prepared. Like y'all it's just like the misogyny is just so normalized to the point y'all don't see it. Y'all just don't see it. And it's just I think it's so frustrating, but also kudos to Mariah. She's 25 and like calling it out, because I'm gonna be honest, there are people who are senior to her in the industry who just let this go on and don't say anything. Shout out to her for being honest about it. And I'm glad she said it on Dynamite. Bloop, 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 bloop. Get him again. Get him for me. Bloop, bloop,
and
bloop.
I hope sincerely. That's real shady what I was gonna say. I hope. Oh, you go first then. We'll take turns. I don't give a fuck.
If you are an outlet you sent a representative to that media scrum and they were not prepared with a question, you need to be
should not send them again.
Who you're applying for credentials for. 100%. There is probably a woman on your staff who has been waiting, grasping, clawing for an opportunity to be the one to go to these things. So I'm gonna be honest, both companies are starting to get stricter about like how many people from a certain outlet they're letting in the scrum. Like I think there was a time, especially AEW, like you have like 5 people from one outlet. Those days are no longer really a thing. And the amount of women that I hear from who are saying that, oh, such and such got picked to be the rep over me. You need to start having some really difficult conversations, both with yourself and your staff, because this is unacceptable. And this isn't the first time. We've been seeing this for years, especially because we're only 5 years into this whole having scrums thing, and then eventually, WWE started doing press conferences too. So like this is fairly a thing, but we know how this goes at this point of just wrestling media was already in the mud. But
can I say something else? Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say,
a lot of you bitches are a lot of you people headline chasers, and you're not even good at that.
And you're spreading misinformation.
Not even just that. But if you are, and maybe this is just me dipping into what I do in my career. If you're trying to get somebody to say something, it's just like elementary ways of being able to bait folks if that's what you want to do. And I'm saying you shouldn't be doing that, because you shouldn't be headline chasing if you're actually trying to get to the bottom of something. Me personally, I enjoy the prospect of being able to go to the scrums because I want to hear what the talent have to say, most in particular about what occurred that night. I'll never forget, bro. I was sitting there in that in the one that I have had the opportunity to go to, and I doubt I'll be a spec, but the one I had the opportunity to go to, and they're sitting up there. Osprey just fought Danielson, and you're asking him about Triple H shade. Oh my!
Greatest matches on American soil. One of the greatest matches we've ever seen on American soil.
And you're gonna look that bitch dead in the face and say, "You know what'd be a good time to ask about?" And it's like, and so to me, like the prospect is so incredibly simple. Even if you don't have anything in relation to their storyline, even which you can always come up with something. Some of you have never bullshitted a paper in college or whatever, like find something. Even if nothing came to your mind beforehand, you watched the whole night in comped seats.
You want to know something though? I'm about to say something though. Like, and this is a real scoop. Like, well, not a scoop, but this is actually the truth. A lot of wrestling media, not everybody, they treat going to AEW shows like a chore. They really, and I can't speak for WWE because I haven't been to a WWE scrum, but I can say from experience, a lot of the media who comes to these scrums, they treat it like a chore. Like, oh, well, like I could be anywhere else but here, or like they do an AEW a favor.
Let me just set my shit up.
Oh, I'm ready to go to SummerSlam or something like that. And that's just the truth. And I've heard people say it. I've heard people talk about it. I've seen people get scrum tickets, not scrum tickets, but like press seats for the show. And if there's like a club section that they have the media in, will be in that club section at the top of the steps on their laptops, not actually watching the show, but call themselves covering the show afterwards and asking questions in the media scrum that are specifically about gossip. I've seen it happen, like with my own 2 eyes. Actually, at Wrestle Dream last year, I've been there. I've done 6 scrums. 6.
And you know what? You know what's funny for me? I just say like, locker wrestling is like a fun little thing that I do. I don't give a fuck. It's not my fucking job. So the opportunity to ask questions it's a cool one to have. And I didn't necessarily know what I was going to do with that content or what I was going to do with. I mean, I didn't have a fancy camera. I didn't it's not like I had the money to go buy stuff and prepare for this and whatever. I didn't know, I like I said, I didn't have the money to invest in anything. I didn't know where this stuff was going. What I did know is that I had the opportunity to ask questions to some incredible talent who had just put on an incredible event. And I figured, well, at least if nobody else has anything of substance that they can write about with their dumbass fucking questions, maybe you can use something for mine. And maybe they did. But anyway, we went on yapping. Oh, I gotta go.
Yeah. All right.
Sorry.
So the main event. Wait. Well, Mariah and Anna Jay, that was a really good segment. It sounded really good.
Yes, but I just impossible to keep my mouth shut. It was a really good segment. The Anna Jay match would be really good. I don't think it helps with the idea that Mariah's title reign is not really going anywhere.
I do agree on that. But, hey, maybe that's when Mina finally comes back and we can kick into gear.
Ricochet, AR Fox, where he been at?
Yeah, bro, they pulling black people out of the woodwork.
Calling all the black people report to work.
Crazy.
Report to work.
Also, I would like to say when they put the graphic up for Friday Night Dynamite of Swerve versus Shelton Benjamin and David Fowler, I started doing that Tama Tonga noise.
That's crazy.
Yo, man, that's my type of party. Let's get into the main event. Also, the Elite versus DG and Private Party next week. That's going to be fantastic. We had Jay White versus Christian Cage.
I just can't shut up. It's chronic. Private Party in DG is for people that watched their vlogs. Private Party in DG, it's for niggas with motion. If you ain't got no motion, then you don't understand. That's all. Thank you.
That's my brand, man. Jay White versus Christian Cage. I really enjoyed this match. Jay White has looked great since returning. Christian Cage will always be famous. But the real winner of this match, y'all.
My cowboy.
That man, Hangman.
I'm worried about you.
I'm actually worried about you. Like the way that he's, you know who he looks like? You know who he looks like? Dexter Lumis. He looked exactly like Dexter Lumis.
You're right.
That's exactly who he looked like.
Oh.
And I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm gonna be honest. Before I stopped watching WWE, Dexter Lumis was one of the last people who got re-signed. I kind of fuck with him. I don't know.
Okay. All right. So the show's over. Thank you, everybody.
I hope
you enjoyed
I like his commitment. I like the way that I like his commitment. Like,
congratulations to Kenosuke Takeshita on being the international champion. Congratulations to Lyric, who we can't seem to hear anymore for some reason. Gosh, shut up. Still even talking about Dexter Lumis. Don't piss me off.
Yeah.
God.
My thing is, I can't tell you how he wrestles or anything like that. I just thought that his gimmick was so funny. I thought his gimmick was so funny. And also, I would like the way that he would just slide out. He would just slide from underneath the ring and just be and
that's literally the face Hangman made tonight. Oh, Jalen is funny. Hangman stood under the ring apron and started shaking because he was laughing. How could you not? How could you not?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest. He's so good at what he does because I don't know how he kept a straight face, just there like that. Like, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Hey, but that's my man, and I'm right beside him.
With a little push, Hangman versus J2 in a hardcore match could hit like Hangman in a Swerve Texas death match. No, but I think it'd be pretty good. But y'all, I want you to understand, what Hangman and Swerve did last year in Los Angeles, California, in the Kia 4, That is immortal. That is
That
history.
Texas death match, it won't be touched. It won't be
Never.
touched for a while. And I've never been a huge Jay White person. He's cool to me. But he's not all that, in my opinion. In my opinion, that's my opinion. He's not Swerve in order for that to happen. But it would be really good. I would thoroughly enjoy it. And I will give Jay White credit where credit is due. In New Japan, he didn't move me too much. And when he first came to AEW, um, he had a few good matches, and then he fell into this weird hole with, the Acclaimed and everything like that, and trios matches and this, that, and a third. So it was hard to keep in track. My point being, since he's come back, I have understood the hype, I will say. These past couple matches, I've been like, oh, okay, that's why people, bought Jay White stock.
Yeah. Yeah. Guys, Hangman, therapy.
You don't need therapy anymore, baby. You need what's a step up? You need inpatient.
Pause. David Finlay surpassed who in the ring?
David Finlay.
I will say, you talk about Jay White. Jay White hasn't even had that many singles matches this year. So I mean, actually, that might be an accurate statement.
No,
but I don't think it's a fair comparison because he hasn't had that many singles matches this year. But David Finlay, listen, no, honestly, since the G1, David Finlay has been fantastic in ring. He has, and that's just the truth.
He's never gonna make me. You guys are never gonna make me like David Finlay.
He's nowhere near close to the other Bullet Club leaders. I do agree with that by far, but he has been great. He has been great. Oh yeah,
so there was Dexter Loomis.
There was a second BCC ass whooping. There sure was backstage, and they was fighting Top Flight.
Yeah,
it was. I liked it.
I didn't. I liked the first one, and I think that it would have felt more ominous and more, scary without the second one. I didn't think that the second one was necessary.
That's fair. I think though that they wanted us to see the BCC leave the building, because I think if they didn't show them leaving the building, we would have expected them to close the show.
I don't think so.
I would have, because honestly, I was expecting to see.
Really?
I thought that yes, I do, but especially because Christian Cage, one, he holds the title shot. He holds the title shot at the World Championship anytime he gets. Jay White is obviously being built as this super baby face of like literally they're killing everybody. I would have expected to see them if I didn't already see them leave the arena, in my opinion.
See, I don't know. I just guess that I wasn't expecting them to come back. And I think leaving the building, okay, fine. But I think that this is the first episode since winning in the title reign. I understand that there's going to be like some natural pushback. Like you're going to have your baby faces want to fight back. I get that. And they should. Does everybody need to talk? No, because we're still trying to give off the ominous, scary vibes of ECC. So they leave and everybody named Mama grabbing a mic. I don't think we needed to do that.
Especially if niggas grabbing a mic that wasn't grabbing a mic before this.
Put it down.
Because why is Action and Dread talking on Dynamite in the second hour? But I mean, it worked for me. But I do understand where you're coming from. I understand. But we closed the show. Hangman interferes. Buckshot Lariat to Jay White, and then it was over. And Christian Cage won. You know what, guys? I'm not gonna lie. I love Christian Cage so much. I'll never be mad when he wins anything. I can't bring myself to be mad. Sometimes I did want somebody else to win or whatever, but mad, I just can't do it. When it comes to Christian Cage,
it's one of that's all right.
It's Christian Cage, it's just
all right. I'll give him that.
He eats everything,
That's what he do. And I tweeted it earlier, but like I really mean it. 2024 Chris Jericho is dying to be 2024
I
Christian
I'm
Cage.
glad that you brought that up because I did want to talk about that briefly because you tweeted it. You're 100% correct. And Jericho wants to, and he wants to really bad, and he's not going to be able to, and he's not going to be able to. He hasn't been able to, and he just can't. And there was a time in their careers where I genuinely do think that Jericho was probably tracking ahead of Christian, but the biggest problem with Jericho
Yes.
now in 2024 is that he has now failed to do the thing that I felt like he always did better than everybody else, and that's just evolve. Know when to sit down, know when to reassess. He's just, but guess who does know
The
how to do
last
that?
two pivots have been bad.
With that.
They've been misses. And look, I think especially now when you're seeing like I think I could have made this argument a year ago. Just as far as like, oh, the veteran that is widely beloved, still hooping in the ring, you know, that 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 Jericho want to be that so bad. But now in particular, looking at the Briscoe stuff, like and the mentioning of Jay and the, trying to go people, whatever, like now you and Christian Cage are playing very similar characters and you don't want to do that
You
because it
don't
just
want to do.
exposes the differences. You don't want to do that.
You know what I think would be a good idea though. You know what I think would be a
What do
good
you think would
idea.
be a good idea?
Once Christian Cage, whatever happens with that contract, as far as like like the title match contract, I think if Jericho is going to insist on being on television, I think you should put them in a feud because I truly believe that after a feud with Christian Cage, he's either going to have to
You will
fix
show
himself
the
or
levels of this shit.
he's either going to have to fix himself or he's just going to have to disappear because he's going to get clowned so bad. Because what you're not going to do, you know who you're not going to pull into the politics? Christian Cage.
Because what do you have on Christian Cage? You can't pull rank, you can't pull veteran status. You can't you don't have anything on Christian Cage that would make him want to back down to you in any capacity. And what you do have is glaring weaknesses that a real bitch like Christian Cage will expose. Chloe, you know what? That's a great point. I don't believe Chris Jericho. It feels like a low, dirty thing to do to try to inflict heat. Christian Cage has been doing it so long and has been doing it with such fervor that you're like, that's just part of what he does. He's just that awful. It's gonna come up every time.
That's what he is. And I think it's also one of those things too of like, and I even tweeted this, Christian Cage, that's why he can take so many losses. He doesn't need to be all the way at the centerpiece because when he is around, guess what? It's going to matter. It's going to feel like important because Christian Cage, even if his shoulders go to the mat, you're never going to get him to shut up. And he's going to violate you and your family so bad to the point to where you're going to feel like you never won anything in your entire life. Okay.
You're gonna be so humiliated.
Yeah, it's
You
just
you
really
don't
bad
come
for
out
me.
of a Christian Cage feud with your dignity.
And I think also
Even
too
if
for the
you
longest, when I was like, I think growing up, I always saw Edge, Christian, and Chris Jericho kind of like in that same class of like they were, came up around the same time. They're all around similar ages, and they were in a similar era in WWE. And I feel like Chris Jericho was the better all around one for the longest, just because he had been a little bit everywhere. Like, and I think sometimes I feel like he's been double digging in his heels and trying to like have these like it feels like almost like a temper tantrum because
Ugh,
Copeland and Christian have just done so well. Like
they've done so well, and
they've done so
people love
well.
them. And Chris
People
Jericho's sitting there, he's
love
like, "Why don't people receive me the same way? I am a huge reason why AEW exists. I'm the first AEW World Champion." I don't think it clicks in his mind what the difference is in 2024 between him and them.
them.
And I don't know how else to explain it to you, Buki.
Imagine being that delusional.
No, literally, that's a good point. Christian Cage is gonna get the microphone one time, ask Jericho where his wife was on January 6th, and then Jericho is he's You gotta go home.
Like Christian Cage, the only person who can really do it and get away with it the way it needs to get done.
Yeah. He gonna be dead the fuck serious.
And then we gonna be like,
matter of fact, let's talk about families. You want to talk about families?
let's talk about your wife, Chris. Oh, everybody in the crowd. Oh, he said she got no nipple. But I digress. That was Dynamite, guys. We just, as if you pretend the first 30 minutes never happened, it was a perfect show almost. Fun. It was fantastic, amazing.
Miss Kenny Omega, we love you.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday!
Congratulations once again to Konosuke Takeshita. Congratulations to Zack Sabre Jr. Also, congratulations to Kevin Knight picking back up the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag titles right before Super Junior Tag League. So that's fun. A lot of fun stuff happening, huh?
And congratulations to Lyric.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate it. If you want a copy, you can go on PWI's website, get a digital copy or a print copy of this issue of the PWI Women's 250. Yeah. So thank you, everybody, for coming. Dani, is there anything you would like to plug?
No.
Alrighty. I don't have anything to plug either. I ain't gonna lie. My Twitter account might go private soon, guys. If they don't fix this little block feature thingy, because I'm not gonna lie, I don't. You did you see that?
I need a gun.
I'm not like. All I hear is that they just saying sit still and let these people harass you. Absolutely not. It's about to get so nasty and so ugly and so much
and so rude
than it's already been for women, especially Black women. You got to think like it's absolutely not. Like, just absolutely not.
Yeah.
Mentally, I'm gonna be honest. I've been through a lot over the last couple months. Mentally, I'm not in the space because if I show up to your house with a bazooka, now what? We track IP addresses.
Literally, don't fucking play with me. I might keep BG Dub public and I'll be private because I'm like, jump me over there.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. If this all happens, can I start tweeting from BG Dub?
If I remember the password. Why the fuck not? You're gonna have to jump all of us. Fine.
BG Dub, you gonna be, guess what, y'all gonna see so many I love Kenny Omega tweets. You ain't gonna know who tweeted it. Who knows?
Yeah.
You don't know who did it. You ain't gonna know who did it. Matter of fact, we gonna be logged in on the same time. You're gonna see two come out at the same time. Who did what?
You know what? That should be fun. I think we should do like a, now we're just talking. I forgot the stream was still on. We should do like we're talking about doing match of the year. Yes. But I think we should also compile like tweets of the year.
Yes. Let's do that. Let's do that. All right. Let's do that. We'll work on it. Just start bookmarking stuff and we'll regroup.
Oh, I got it. I got everybody's.
I believe you. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching the Dynamite Book. We'll be back. Until next time, we'll see you. Bye.